The Akali, what? The Akali raft experiment might restore your faith in humanity. What the fuck does that mean? I have no idea, but I'm curious. So, what? 1973. Yeah, let's watch it. Let's watch it.
1973. A science experiment needs volunteers. Nobody forces them. 5 men, 6 women, 8 different countries. A Catholic priest, a sea captain, a professional diver, a photographer. They step onto a raft. The raft is 12 meters long. The cabin where they'll sleep is 4 meters square. 4 meters.
I would drink some.
That's roughly the size of a garden shed for 11 people. No engine, no phone, no way off. They sleep side by side, male, female, alternating, because the scientist designed it that way. The ceiling is so low they can't stand up straight. No books, no music, no privacy. The toilet is a hole in the deck, open to the ocean, visible to everyone on the raft. All day, every day. The scientist who designed all of this called it the Peace Project. He lied. His name was Santiago
Definitely, there is no peace in such a thing.
Genovese, an anthropologist from Mexico City. 40 years of research, one obsession. Where does human violence come from? His answer, after decades of work, was simple. It's inside us. All of us. Put people under enough pressure, take away their escape routes, and it comes out. Not a guess, a certainty. And he was going to prove it. Before anyone got on the raft, Genovese ran extensive psychological tests on every participant. Medical profiles, psychiatric evaluations, personality assessments. The results described Genovese himself as authoritarian, intolerant, immature, and infantile. He went anyway. He selected 11 people specifically for maximum friction. Different religions, different races, different languages.
Oh, honestly, this is going to end it so badly. Probably everyone will end up dead.
Different everything. He chose more women than men because he believed sexual competition would cause conflict faster. He selected them in part for being, and this is a direct quote, sexually attractive. He stocked the raft with alcohol. He installed recording equipment throughout. He was going to sit back and watch human nature destroy itself. On May 12, 1973, the Akali left the Canary Islands. 6,000 kilometers of open ocean between them and Mexico. No engine, wind and current only, however long it takes. By the end of week 1, Genovese had a problem. Nobody was
God, that's so freaking insane.
Fighting. The crew had already sorted themselves out. Maria, the Swedish sea captain, who happened to be the first woman in history to hold a maritime command certificate,
of course, because obviously there has to be a woman first in literally everything,
charge of navigation. Servan, the French diver, took charge of maintenance. The Israeli doctor started looking after everyone's health. They were cooperating, sharing food, learning each other's languages. At night, they sat together.
I'm just pausing, so I gotta say, like, I'm loving this video. I'm loving this video so freaking much. Let's continue.
Together on the deck and looked at the stars. This was, to put it mildly, not what Genovese needed. So he decided to help things along. Every week he handed out questionnaires. Who do you dislike most on the raft? Who would you most like to sleep with? Who do you want to kill? The participants answered privately. Then Genovese read the answers out loud, in front of everyone. He would look at someone and say, that person
help create conflict
over there wants you dead. He would look at another and say, this person wants to sleep with you. He posted a ranking on the cabin wall of who he personally found most sexually attractive, listed by name for everyone to read. He told the only black woman on board that she was, in his word, primitive, and suggested she should sleep with the black man on the raft, because it was, in his words, natural. The crew read his bulletins, they looked at each other, and then they went back to what they were doing. Because something completely unplanned was happening on that raft. Removed from their jobs, their social lives, their phones, their obligations, these 11 strangers were actually enjoying themselves. They sang together, they cooked together, they told each other stories. One participant later said the raft became an escape from an abusive relationship at home, and the people on board helped her through it. Another, the only African-American woman on the raft, realised her ancestors had likely made this exact crossing of the Atlantic as cargo, in chains. That realisation, she said, made her grateful for every single day she was free. Meanwhile, Genovese was in the corner of that 4-metre cabin, writing furiously in his notebook, waiting for anyone, to snap. One researcher later calculated that 101 days at sea was the equivalent of 12 to 15 years of normal human contact compressed into one experience. They were not becoming animals, they were becoming something closer to a family. Genovese was not...
So I think what's basically happening is that all of them made him their enemy in common. So having a common enemy makes them actually fortifies even more the sense of unite, and yeah. Probably this are actually, and I'm not saying that they are actually consciously doing that. This might be happening like passively,
Handling this well. He started undermining Maria at every opportunity, overruling her decisions, second-guessing everything she did. Then, one day, the raft's rudder broke. Servan, the professional diver whose entire job was exactly this, suited up and prepared to go into the water. Genovese stopped her. She was a woman, he said. She couldn't go overboard. So he took her equipment. It did not fit him. He had never dived in his life. He went into the water anyway. He almost drowned. He came back up. The rudder was still broken. That night, while Genovese...
Oh my god! The guy doing the experiment is the worst of all of them.
Slept, Servan put on her equipment, went quietly into the ocean and fixed the rudder herself. In the dark. 5 minutes.
She did everything on the dark. The guy couldn't do on daylight.
Job done. In the morning, Genovese found out. He called it mutiny.
This guy is a really piece of shit.
A few weeks later, the crew caught a shark. In his journal that night, Genovese described the scene as a savage frenzy of violence, the group bashing its skull and tearing the flesh apart like animals. The film footage from that day shows them calmly cutting up dinner. At this point, the crew had started having their own quiet conversations. Not about each other, about him.
Oh my god, it's like I said, they made in the common enemy.
Some of them, seriously, not as a joke, began to discuss whether Genovese might simply disappear over the side one night.
Oh my god!
Whether it could look like an accident.
It's literally the first judgment of this new, land or something, this new government that they built, this new civilization, It's the first judgment ever.
They decided against it, which, honestly, was very generous of them.
Honestly, was very generous of them. I had to agree with it.
Then came the hurricane. As the Akali entered the Caribbean, weather reports warned of a major storm directly in their path. Maria made an immediate call. They needed to find shelter. The raft would not survive what was coming. Genovese said no. He physically removed Maria as captain, made himself captain instead. A storm, he argued, was exactly the kind of extreme condition that might finally trigger the violence he had been looking for months.
Yes, it will, but it will be the violence against you, and you will not survive to catalog that.
Under maritime law, removing a captain at sea is punishable by death. That is not dramatic, that is the actual law. The storm hit. All 11 crew members spent several days packed into that 4-metre cabin while the Atlantic tried to sink them. They stayed calm. They looked after each other. Not one of them lost it. Then a cargo freighter appeared on the horizon, coming straight at the raft, full speed. Genovese panicked completely. He ran in circles on the deck. He had absolutely no idea what to do. Maria, the captain he had just removed, stepped forward calmly, organised everyone, and used flares and signals to divert the ship at the last possible moment. After that, nobody argued about who was captain. On August 20th, 1973, the Akali reached Cozumel, Mexico, 101 days after they left.
They actually done that?
By that point,
I told you they would die. I never thought that they would actually survive all this. Oh my god.
Genovese had spent the final weeks below deck. The papers had started calling the experiment the sex raft. His university had publicly cut all ties with him. He stopped writing, stopped giving questionnaires, stopped taking notes. He was sick, according to his own account. The medic on board, who was also a participant, said he was almost certainly faking it for attention. The crew celebrated without him.
My god.
They swam, they laughed, they cooked together. In a quiet moment below deck, Genovese opened his journal. He wrote one sentence. Only one person on this raft has shown any kind of aggression. And that is me, a man trying to control everyone else, including himself. He had designed a machine to find violence in other people. And the only violence it found was
It looks like a lot of things that we have in society right now, huh? The people that, that are on top, that always claim that everyone is violent. Doesn't that look like our reality right now?
him. In 2018, a filmmaker tracked down 7 of the surviving crew members. He built a full-size replica of the Akali and invited them back on board.
Yep, exactly.
They all came.
They walked tired.
And the first thing several of them said when they stepped onto that deck was that they had missed it. Not the open toilet, not the ceiling you couldn't stand under, not Genovese. The simplicity. A small raft, 11 people. Nothing left to perform. Think about what that means. Most of us spend our lives quietly convinced that other people, under real pressure, in a real crisis, would eventually show us something ugly. That the aggression is in there somewhere, waiting. Santiago Genovese spent 40 years believing that, then spent 101 days trying to prove it. The people he put on that raft proved something different. Strip everything away, the noise, the performance, the escape routes. Give people a real problem and nowhere to run. What tends to come out is quieter than you'd expect. Not violence.
I can't believe that they didn't murder each other. That's so freaking awesome.
Not chaos. Something that looks, a little uncomfortably, a lot like trust.
Yeah, probably they didn't even realize that, but probably one of the reasons that they succeeded is actually that they had that guy to hate like all the all the freaking time. Probably they perform it a lot better and have a lot more in common because they had that guy there to make their common enemy. Real nice, real nice. Very good, very good. I like this video. Nice video, yeah. Just want to remind you guys to join our Discord server. You can do that by hopping on the link tree that is on your screen right now. But don't do that if you're a wokey, commie, a little bit tired, all this shit. If you're over the fence, don't even try because you'll abuse spells, okay? But if you're a node-style, common-sense person, you'll be very much welcome. On that link as well, you will find the links to my Patreon and to the Ko-Fi. On the Patreon, I have many ties that you can be a member of. Doing that to have some amazing perks, and some of them are like a Discord role, a special role on our Discord server, and also like access to exclusive content there. And if neither of these are good to you, you can just go to the Kick stream and subscribe or gift subs. That also helps. Just avoid Wooktube at all costs. Wooktube freaky sucks. If you can financially support Foxu, share content, subscribe, like, and Yeah, that's it. Let's go to the next one. Before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, for the incredible support to my work here on YouTube, and especially my 5-tailed fox tier member, the Holy Ball, and to all of my 3-tailed fox tier members, Wallany Wolf, Fanny Sylvie, Eat Himself, Chile Not Serious, Eustace the Useful, Zealous Isaiah, Ala Rosas, Max Tenor, Nugutino, Avery, Halcyonic Eder, and TV8. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to everyone that have been supporting me on Ko-Fi, Kick, and to all of my YouTube members. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. And that's it for today, my dear Foxlings. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.